Hi everybody, welcome to Deb's Way. I'm Deb and you're here in my sewing room today, but I don't really have any projects that I finished this week, but I have some buys that I made. There have been sales like ever since the weekend, and well, actually it started last Thursday and continued over the weekend, and I have been shopping. Yes, I have been. So first of all, let me tell you about that, okay? Well, I already told you on the Friday, I went to Joann's in my area and went shopping there, and I bought a bunch of fabric, and I bought many different patterns. But there were a couple of patterns on my list that my Joann's didn't have. So the next day, I went to another Joann's location near my area, and I bought a few more patterns there. Let me show you what I got. And all of these patterns that I did get at the second Joann's were patterns that were on my list, okay? They were on my list that I couldn't find at my local Joann's. But of course, while I was at the other Joann's, where I found the extra patterns, I found some material as well. But anyway, the new patterns that I have are these. S9334. I like this top. I can see me making that up for, well, for fall and winter here in Florida. That would be perfect. So I'll be doing that. And then I found two other patterns that I just kind of got for fun, okay, to give it a try. Now, Alex in England was working on some slippers not too long ago, and I really liked the pattern, and he was giving a tutorial on how to make them, and I just wish I had the pattern, but they looked really nice. I found this pattern, Simplicity 9531, and I thought I might give that a try. Okay, I thought they looked kind of cute, and this is typical of what I do wear around the house here. Yes, even in Florida, on the tile floors especially, it's good to have a nice pair of slippers to wear. And then last but not least, I saw this pattern and I thought, I don't know, I may never get around to sewing it, but I thought, who knows? Lingerie. This is S9478, okay? It looked interesting, so we'll see if I ever do make it, but hey, in a pinch, who knows? Who knows what I might do? And now the fabric that I did buy at, this was at the second Joann's, this was on the clearance bins that they have, the clearance shelves, and it was like 40% off the marked price. Let me see here. And yes, the patterns were still $1.99. Yeah, I don't have the receipt anymore. I had to turn that over to the bookkeeper in my family. You know, my husband likes to keep the books. But all in all, with the two pieces of fabric and the patterns that I bought, I spent under $30. I do know that. But this is one of the pieces of fabric that I got. It is, I don't know what you'd call it. It has different colored lines throughout, okay? And the lines are like, well, it's kind of like a deep green, not a bright purple, gold, red, blue. Yeah, I just thought, hey, I could make an easy top out of this, even if I just wore it with jeans. So I got that material. And I couldn't pass this up. This feels so nice. It's a gray material. I'm not really knowledgeable on the different types of fabric like all you other people out there, but I go by the feel of things and the look, of course. This felt so nice and soft. I think it's some sort of linen. It is so soft. It's a gray color. And I thought that would make a nice pair of pants. Okay, so yeah, really comfortable. Can you tell? there are some fabrics that I love the feel of it, and I'll show you one of those fabrics that I bought too over the weekend. So anyway, that was my Joanns haul. And then the weekend was pretty quiet around here. It was a holiday weekend. We didn't do much of anything outside the home. It was hot during the day, most of the daytime, stormy, rainy in the afternoon. But then on Monday, 4th of July, it cleared up. And it was just as well that it did, because there was a very nice sale at the sewing studio in my area, my favorite store. I love this store because they give wonderful sewing lessons of all kinds. They have beautiful sewing machines, and I recently, well, last fall, bought my brother, what is this, Innovis BQ 1350 from them. And it does everything that I need to do, really. I did not need a real fancy embroidery machine. This is fancy enough for me, and it suits my purposes to a T. So anyway, yeah, I like the sewing studio very much. So I went there for their sale, and I also knew that Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, and Michelle from Michelle Sews Again, and Trish from Pinky's Farm were planning to meet at Sewing Studio sometime in the early afternoon to shop the sale, and I was hoping to meet up with them. But I went. Now typically, like on the 1st of January, Sewing Studio has a big sale then too, real big, and I go to that one. And to that sale, I was there this last January. I opened the store, and there were mobs of people. I mean, it was a long line wrapped from the front door around the side of the building, and I was back at the side of the building towards the rear. But I got in, got what I wanted, and saved a bundle of money, and I was out of there in a couple of hours. Well, on Monday, they did open up, oh gee, what time? I thought it was 9 o'clock or so. I was there by 10:30 or so, 11-ish time frame. And I went with my list of what I wanted. I didn't need patterns, but I wanted to look at the material. Everything was 40% off. And like I said, I didn't need patterns, but I looked at the material, and I couldn't pass this up. This is from Rifle Company, and it has all, well, here, I'll show it up close. It has all sorts of flowers on it, very pretty colors. I don't know if you can see it, maybe better this way with more light. Very pretty. And this fabric is so nice. I'm hoping to make a dress out of this. We'll see. But it feels so good. And I keep feeling it because my chair creaked. I keep feeling it because it feels so nice. Yeah. But I bought several yards of that. And also, I looked at their cotton knit material because I wanted to make a lot of cotton knit tops. I ended up buying this fabric. It's kind of like a blue purple color, just a single cotton knit, and I'll make a little cotton knit top with that. Yeah, so that's the fabric that I got, plus I bought a package of these 2 fabric markers, blue and white. Okay. And I don't remember how much this was altogether, but I do know that my total bill at Sewing Studio came to like $76. Okay, that's for the fabric and these notions that I got. Okay, and I also got more bobbins for my machine. I bought a bag of bobbins. That's kind of like a tongue twister, you know? Bought a bag of bobbins. Anyway, I bought a bag of bobbins about half this size when I got my machine last fall, and those bobbins are already filled up with other threads that I've used throughout the last few months. So I needed some new blank bobbins. So I bought a bag of blank bobbins. Say that fast a couple of times. These were originally $9.99, but like I said, 40% off that price. I needed some more white thread. I've been using Aurifil. Yeah, Aurifil in my machine, and I like this thread for quilting, and I have liked it for the clothes that I've done so far, but Sewing Studio does not sell Aurifil. It's 100% cotton. So I switched. I have used this before too. I do like Gutermann, and I use this one. Now this is 100% polyester, so I'll see what the difference really is, but I do like Gutermann besides as well. And I don't remember how much this spool was, but anyway. And I am finding that a lot of my pins, you know, these type of pins are becoming quite dull. Now, yes, I've used them throughout the years on my quilting, no problem, but I'm noticing on the fabrics that I'm sewing on now to make clothing, they're kind of hard to get through the fabric, and I'm afraid that I might be tearing some of the threads. So I bought some, these are very fine Dritz pins. Whoops. These are very fine Dritz pins with a glass head, and I thought I'd give these a try. There's like, I don't know, several hundred of these pins in one little box. Let me show you. I don't know if you can really see. I probably can't show you this. Very fine point pin with a blue glass head, okay? But I'm going to give these a try and see how it does. They're very, very fine, ultra fine, I think it even said in the description. So we'll see how that goes. And that is all of the notions that I bought, all of the fabric that I bought, and all of the patterns that I bought over this last holiday weekend. Yeah, I kind of spent up. What I try to do, I'm going to try and use up all of the fabric that I bought before I go shopping again. And I've got in mind what I want to make with each piece, so we'll see how that goes. Years ago, when I was heavy into quilting, really heavy, I used to buy up material like crazy at different stores that I went to, especially during the sale times. You know, I'd check the bargain bins, you know, a yard of this, a couple yards of that, whatever, you know. And I had such a stockpile in fabric that I really never used. During the pandemic and the early days, I sold a lot of that fabric by the bulk. I mean, really, I did. Did I make my money back on it? No. But at least it was nice fabric that was put to use. And of course, back at that time, I was in a frame of mind that I wasn't going to be sewing anymore, especially doing a lot of quilting. And I needed to make room for something else that I thought was more important. And that was to clear off the storage shelves that I have back here in the spare bedroom that I sew in, and change everything that was packed high with fabric into being packed high with paper goods, canned goods, and cleaning goods, that sort of thing. I needed to reprioritize what I had on my storage shelves here in my sewing room. So that's when this sewing room became half storage. Actually, I call it my sub pantry because I have a pantry out in the kitchen. So I changed my sewing room into being half sub pantry shelves like this and the other floral screened storage shelf unit, and half sewing room. So now, after all those sewing projects that I finished up last week, I need to get busy in here, reorganize all the fabric that I just bought, and clean the sewing part of this room up so that I can feel like I'm neatly organized enough to begin another sewing project. That's how I am right now. Are you guys that way too? Does it get to a point where your sewing room, your sewing space just gets to become so cluttered with just everything that you have to take time out on working on a project and clean and straighten your space? Yeah, are you that way? Well, I'm kind of at that point this week, and that's what I'm going to be working on. And then I hope to be working on this little project. I said that I do wear summer dresses like the one I'm going to show you around the house. These are my house dresses. This pattern I bought way back in 1989. Yep. I've made it several times over the years. I don't think I ever made it 100% correct, especially the shoulder area straps, but I'm going to give it a good go this time. But it's this dress right here. It is sleeveless, and I don't normally wear sleeveless out and around. It's Simplicity pattern number 7476, and it's just a nice little summer shift. Okay, yeah, and yes, I love the pockets on it too. So I'm going to give this a try when I start sewing again this weekend. Until then, I hope you all have a nice busy sewing week or weekend. And I hope to have something finished to tell you or to show you. Oh yeah, do you notice what I'm wearing today? Yes, this is one of the shirts that I finished. Now, okay, I am my worst critic. I do notice that I need to learn how to make adjustments in the pattern, you know, resize it a little bit. My sleeves start too low. I should have them up a little bit higher, so I needed to take in this area here. Okay, I've learned that now. But otherwise, I like it. I wish I would have had a little bit more of this fabric to make it a little bit longer, but it's okay. You know, it's a comfortable top, it really is. And this is a cotton knit fabric, so it's very nice and comfy. And that's what's important to me at this stage of my life, you know. And I don't care how droopy or baggy it looks to other people. It looks pretty doggone good to me, and hey, it's comfortable. So that's all I care about. Well, okay, it's not all I care about, but that's what's important to me right now. It's how I feel in it, how I feel I look in it, that sort of thing. Yeah. So anyway, that's about all I have to share for this Friday Sews. I hope you're all having a good week out there, that you finished a lot of projects that you set out to finish, and I hope you have a good weekend. Okay? I'll be talking to you again real soon, but for this time around, thank you, Jen, at Today's in Jen's Sewing Room, for starting this wonderful collaboration. I have met, oh, and that reminds me, yes, I did meet up with Trish at Sewing Studio. I happened to be walking around looking at the fabric, and I heard this voice that sounded awfully familiar, a very southern drawl, and I turned around and I saw, yeah, a blonde lady in a pink dress walking around talking on the phone, and I listened some more and it's like, that's gotta be Trish. And of course I think Pinky's Farm right off. And she finished her phone call, and I was walking around in the same area with her, which is a part of the store that's kind of like a sales area, a clearance area in a way. And I turned to look at her and I said, I'd know that voice anywhere. And she goes something like, you look familiar too. And she goes, Deb? And I said, yes. I said, I was so happy to meet her. She lives very near me, over in my side of the state anyway. And well, I was just very, very pleased to have had the chance to meet up with her at Sewing Studio. So, hi Trish. I'm going to put our picture here that I took. She took a similar picture of us there that she'll probably show on her site, I don't know. But now I've met Michelle at the Lakeland quilt show several months ago, and also now Trish. So at shopping, you know. But anyway, it's fun to meet up with people that you chat with on YouTube here, on the channels that you enjoy, you know. So anyway, what was I saying? Time to go. That's what I need to say. All right, hope you all have a good one out there. I'll talk to you again real soon, but for this week, it's going to be bye for right now.